This picture was actually taken in 2004, 1 year after the war began. I was able to get it in bed with the Marines, and this is the Battle of Najaf. These men have been detained as suspects, although the majority of them would later be released. They were hand-tied and basically questioned. First they were laid out in this sand pit. And to me this picture reflects the poor treatment that we gave to the Iraqi people. And it was very difficult for the Americans to understand who were the bad guys and who weren't. And this sort of reflects that conundrum that we had of figuring out who we were fighting against. It also turned sentiment against the Americans. So that's what I see in this picture. Well, I mean, the Iraq War went on for so long, but I am a news photographer, so mainly I will go out and photograph all day, and then once the sun sets, I'll go in and go through all the images, you know, up to 300 or 400 images in a day, and I'll pick the best 10 or 15 that best represent what happened that day, what was important, and I'm always looking for the news content. Why is it important to see this image? I'm also looking for, you know, good elements of photography, whether it's composition or color or a moment, emotion, and I'm trying to pick images that best reflect the news of the day. And then I send those back to the newspaper and I start over the next morning. So I don't spend a lot of time with each one of these individuals, especially in conflict photography. Most people around the world understand the importance of the media and understand why it's important for their story to be told. And in most cases, they want their story to be told. So I'm not having to really explain too much about why I'm there. I always try to identify myself. In fact, I want them to know that I'm an American photographer. I want them to know that the images that I'm taking will be seen by the American public. And especially, I feel a responsibility to show the impact that the US government has on countries around the world. Well, I think I have a very strong sense of purpose of why I'm there. I think that's always given me the stamina to go through. I try to take precautions. I try to work with people that I know and trust, whether it's other journalists, whether it's a translator, somebody who has more experience in that country than I do. I always try to wear protective gear, whatever's required there, whether it's a headscarf or helmet or flak jacket. So I take all the necessary precautions, but unfortunately several of my friends have been killed in the field, and it's just a stark reminder that it is very dangerous in some of these areas. It's actually gotten more dangerous in the last few years as journalists have become more targets. In the old days you felt like you were more protected as a journalist, but now that's not the case. So I have to really think about why you want to go and what is your motivation for being there. And during this time I had a very strong motivation about why I wanted to be there, and that helped me. Yeah, it's definitely, especially during the Iraq War and the war in Afghanistan, I definitely felt a responsibility because I was at the right stage in my career where I had enough experience, and I felt like it was my duty to actually go there and be the eyes for the American people who couldn't be there to see what was going on and what the American government was doing. So it was a responsibility and a mission at the same time, and I'm grateful that I found my voice through photography.